disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. Actually, my month has been ruined. Hello and welcome back to the Cricket Podcast, but it has a name this time. Welcome back to the Full Toss Podcast. That's about the only good news that we have
Yes.
this week, because the other news is the WTC final. Abhi, why don't you break the news to them? I don't. I'm kind of depressed.
We lost. That's the
Yep,
front line. But
that's.
it was a good match, not gonna lie, but could have been better. ICC could have done a lot of better things, but
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole scenario around the match in the first place, to be fair, conditions never suited India to begin with. But it was still a challenge that we should be up for. If we want to call ourselves the best team in the world, we have to be up for any conditions. And technically, if we look at it, we were up for it. Like half of the game, we were pretty much up for it. And this is the story of India, I guess, when they travel to difficult conditions. The first half of the game, they will be charging and ready and up for it, and then the slip off in the back side of the game, and then it just completely falters, and before you know it, lost. They get like a massive loss or something like that. So yeah, it kind of hurts in a way. But we'll analyze. No, we won't analyze the game. We're not analysts, but we'll talk about the game and how it went day by day, and
yeah.
we'll go from there at least. So first of all, I mean, day one, enthralling day, washout.
We were just waiting, 18th June. Come on. Everyone is waiting. Millions of fans, just staring at their screen, They even subscribe to Hotstar, and then
Yeah.
after that washout. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when it comes to washouts, right? When you think about the ICC hosting a one-off Test match of this importance in England, I mean, traditionally it would make sense. Okay, England, the home of cricket, etc. Okay, fine, I guess. But like, there are plenty of places in England where it's less prone to rain than down south, I believe. And I guess London would have been the worst option, judging by like Lords and how it's known for it. Even Southampton, though, you could have just held it. You could have held it anywhere else, man. Like,
I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah.
it was bound to happen. I feel this is the rainy season in England. Like, I know it's in the English summer technically, but there's more rain than there is sun when it comes to this time of the year for them. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, in retrospect and going into it as well, it was never really going to be a game without interruptions, but the amount of interruption was crazy, I guess.
no, and then I mean, yeah, sure, there was rain, but then this bad light, like why? Like just why? Every like 10 overs, you want to take them out. Like I think when we were fielding, Kohli didn't even want to go because they knew they would come back in like less than 2 minutes, and though they were right, they still continued playing.
The thing is
And
with bad light, it's a nice. I guess the ICC regulation is where they take a light reading at the beginning of whenever they check for bad light first and decide to go off. They take a reading on their I don't know what the fucking meter is called, but they take a reading on the meter and they use that reading as a basis for the rest of the game. So if it goes to that reading or below that reading, then they take him off regardless. So that's what they were following. But yeah, the interruptions it completely like steals momentum from both teams. Like when New Zealand were bowling to India and building up pressure, and if there was a rain interruption or bad light or something, then you don't get that momentum back. And similarly, when India was bowling, there's plenty of chances where if we kept the momentum going, we'd be, I guess, more successful when it comes to bowling, especially to the lower order, which we're not really known for bowling well to the lower order anyway to begin with. He could bring a tail ender in and face India's best bowlers, and they'll probably score 20. But yeah, that's the main problem with rain and bad light is the interruptions caused by them. That's what I think. And well, day one, I mean, it's not really an interruption, is it? It's just like you said, waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and then they say,
no,
"Oh, day
yeah, you're
one
just
called off."
reloading the like I don't know, Google commentary, ESPN cricket info, and you're just saying, nope, washout, bad news incoming. Cricket fans don't want to read this. You're just disappointed. But
Yeah, I mean, eventually day two we got some play, and then what happened is New Zealand won the toss and elected to field, which I mean historically wouldn't make sense as teams who win the toss generally choose to bat. But given the conditions at the time and how overcast it was and how much swing you're going to get, I can see totally why New Zealand chose to bowl. It ended up being a really good decision. But they for the first day, India, I would say, would have gone at the end of the day the better side, because if I remember correctly, they were only like 3 wickets down or something. Kohli and Rahane were building a partnership. I guess they were like 150 odd for three at the end of the day. They were going pretty slowly, but I mean that's because the conditions were difficult. That's completely fair. And so that first day, Kohli he showed glimpses of his past, but mainly the main difference with Kohli in this test and I guess the first innings is the patience that he had. He had much more patience because I mean people now will look at the second innings dismissal and be like, oh, he pushed outside off, no patience, should have left that alone. And yeah, that's a fair thing to say, I guess. But you look at the first innings where he was. I read this stat, I think from CricViz, he left 30% of the balls that were bowled to him, which is the highest percentage of balls that he's left in any innings throughout his career. The man was like, you could see that he was more determined than ever during that innings. And so that's why I think, 40 of 130 balls or something like that, strike rate of 30. So
Yeah.
the man was grinding his way out because I mean, as soon as conditions get better, you can start getting more runs. But like Williamson did in the second innings itself, you need to work really really hard in those conditions for runs. So I'd say Kohli's innings in the first innings, along with Rahane's innings, were like peak innings by an Indian player for a while. And when it comes to that, is when you have those kind of even starts like 40s, you'd want it to be backed up, or even if you don't go on to make like big 50s or even 100. 100 on this pitch would have been magical as well because the batting conditions were not suitable for anyone. But at the same time, when if you want, like when you get to 40, you want to make it a 50, right? You want to make it an 80 at least, so that you can set your team up for 250 plus. And at the end of that first day, I would say 250 plus was given, like at least in my head, because we went in at what, 150 for three. You would think,
Yeah.
okay, the last 7 wickets, even if we collapse 3 wickets for like 50, we're still 200 for six. We can still get to 250. But now we went on to the second day, and yeah, you can say what happened the second day.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Jameson, man. That fool.
Okay, no,
He played
no, no,
well, but he's a fool.
no slander to Jameson here. Just a couple of RCB boys
You
being a
know,
bit salty about
actually,
it.
I don't know if you know, but he on his recent post, not the latest one that of the World Test Championship, the celebration post, one before that,
Mhm.
people started giving him hate after he got Kohli
That's
out.
that's
Like,
not called. That's
it's
not
so dumb,
that's
man.
not called for, because I mean it's his job. Like you can say, oh, RCB player getting RCB captain out. Oh, rift in RCB camp. No more 15 crore and all that. But he's doing his job.
Yeah,
He's playing for the
exactly.
he's playing for this
And
national team.
I mean, come on, this might be good news. I mean, he is in RCB, so
I mean, hey, if anything, this proves that hey, he's in good bowling form. So it should ideally be helpful to us. But I mean, I can see there's plenty of things like I bet we could do a whole episode on like the cricket fan base, especially the subcontinent,
yeah, I mean,
and how it can get like really really toxic at times. It can be really really good at times because people care about the game a lot, obviously, but at the same time it can be really really toxic when it comes to things like this, like, oh, he got my favorite player out, that's it, I'm calling up the
you are.
RCBC, the fucking coach. I'm telling him, yo, I want Jameson out this team, okay? No more 15 crore for this shit? Nah, fam. But yeah, you
Yeah,
shouldn't,
I mean,
on a serious note though, you shouldn't be giving hate to cricketers for what they do in
no,
the
yeah,
ground.
exactly. I mean, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just no, it's just wrong.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's what he's supposed to do. That's what he's expected to. And he did his job completely, really well. Man of the match, obviously. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I guess not much about that. But like you said, yeah, Jameson completely ripped us apart. Obviously, deserved man of the match because both innings he played a huge role. I think his economy throughout the game, if I'm not wrong, was less than two.
less than two. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like 1.5.
yeah, it
In
was
first innings, it was 1.4. In second innings, it was 1. 1.25.
Oh,
Yeah, that's like 1.3.
insane shit.
Man,
They
that
couldn't score runs off him to save
and
their
he
life.
bought like what 24. Uh, he
Min?
almost bought 50 overs.
50
An
overs,
economy
yeah.
of 1.3 overall.
I mean,
Like,
anyways, like the run rate through the game, yeah, it was pretty slow. But to have an economy of like
no, I mean, if
one,
you compare it to other people, like Saudi 2.9, Bolt 2.2, everyone's above 2, but like to
yeah, I mean,
contain the run rate
the
or
thing
the
is,
economy under.
the thing is with the economy, a 2.9 is really really good as it is. A 2.2 is even better because you're only giving 2 runs and over. Now imagine an economy of 1 and keeping it up for 2 innings and 50 overs, and it's just insane. And the man, like, obviously if you're to get into like the itty bitty and technical aspects of it, tall man, really good pace bowler, good with seam and swing, and the height gives him bounce. It's like the perfect ingredient for a fast bowler. When you think of the great fast bowlers, all of them are tall. Like you have Stark, you have. I mean, I could name a few. You have Stark. You have even the paces of old, like Ambrose or Courtney Walsh or any of those old West Indian fast bowlers. All of them tall. That gives the bounce. Now Jameson, the thing with him is he's skilled with seam and swing. So you pair all those up together and you've got nearly a perfect fast bowler. Man has what,
Yeah.
46 wickets in 8 games. Ah, this it's unreal. Really, he's gonna become
Hey,
a
if he play,
really good
if he
talent.
debuted in like 2000, what 18, 19, bro, he would have been up there like 70, 80 wickets,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
even more.
give him a couple of years to be fair. And I guess the only challenge left for him is to go to the subcontinent. And New Zealand's next tour, actually, surprisingly enough, is a tour of India
Yeah.
in November. I don't know if he'll play that though, because New Zealand probably won't play more than 2 Pacers in India. But to be fair, if you're playing 2 Pacers, you might as well play him. He can bat as well. That's the thing. This is the thing which separates. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to the listeners out there. I know this podcast is very helter skelter, but it's just tangent after tangent at this point. But the difference between like our pace attack and New Zealand's pace attack, both are really good at their bowling. Yes, that I will agree.
We can't bat.
But we can bat to save our life. I can check the scorecard and we will be 250 for 7. I'll be like, oh yeah, we can get to 300. I'll go to the fucking bathroom and come back. 252 all out. What do I do? What? Boomerang gets bowled, like turned into an S with an outswinger. I mean, you. To be fair, yeah, it's not
he
their
he got he
job.
got he got golden duck by Jameson, and then after that, okay, Bumrah's gonna get Jameson out, but then Jameson goes on to just score, hit some sixes, just fours, get some runs as if it's
No,
nothing.
but like
I mean,
even the
it's not
10
even
15, right? Even the 10 15 runs, right? Those add such big a difference. And when you have your Saudi scored 30 in the first innings. The first innings
exactly.
difference between the teams was 32. You can
That's more
see where
than
the
like
difference comes in.
that's more than Gill, Pujara, Pant, Jadeja, Ashwin. Bro, literally most of the team
No,
except
but
Kohli and
the
Rahane.
thing is, the flip side to that is, I mean, yeah, it's not their job, I guess, because they're really skilled pace bowlers. Their job is to bowl fast and to bowl
Yeah.
well. That's true. They're doing their job completely fine. However, it would be nice if they could hold a bat. Like, I mean, okay, Bumrah, number 11, fine. You don't expect your number 11 to bat. Our still our number 9s and 10 are Ishant and Shami. All of them have been number 11s. We're playing with 3 number 11s. So
Yeah.
after Ashwin, there is zero batting. But I mean, I guess that's a more like the opposite side is, well,
I don't think any Indian.
why do you expect your tailenders to get the runs for you, your top orders to get the
No,
runs for you?
I
Yeah,
don't
that's fair, but
think we India's doing bad. It's just that New Zealand tailenders can bat, and they're doing really good with that.
yeah,
So
well,
yeah, New Zealand just
the thing is, what's the pairing here is our tail can't bat and our tail can't bowl to tailenders. Those are the two things that when you pair together, take it all the way back to 2018, where I've noticed this for the first time. The England, when we toured England for the first time not first time, the last time in 2018. At that point, Sam Curran, he was taking England from like 150 to 6 150 for 6 to like 250 to
Yeah,
300.
exactly.
That kind of recovery, of course, I mean,
I,
it's not what you expect, but it's like it's awesome to have your tail add 100 more runs for you. Not even that, if your tail
no,
could
yeah,
add 50 more runs for you, it helps your total, you
no,
don't
yeah, not even 50, man. If you even get 20, that's actually, especially in these kind of conditions, if you get 20 runs, those can be like literally match deciding.
no,
And
yeah, exactly.
another one was like Broad, what, 150 or something he got.
Broad, oh no,
I think that was against Pakistan.
yeah,
He
Broad
turned the
is.
whole game for England.
But to be fair, at that point of time, Broad was actually a thorough all rounder. Like this was like I think 2012. He was a full all rounder. He batted at number 8 or something like that. But even then, like Broad, even now, he can swing the bat and add 20 runs off 10 balls or something. He'll get out within like 2 overs. But he would have made the difference in that 2 overs, which can take you. And as you said, in such low totals, low scoring games as this one, those 20 runs can make a huge difference. And it's not I don't want it to be that when I see India 7 down, I'm like, okay, we're all out. That's not what I want to feel and see when I see that. And then that's what
Yeah,
happened in
and we
that
don't
England
even.
tour. When we saw Karan adding those runs and our tail could not hold a bat to save their lives. Since then, any tail that we bowled at, we've conceded some runs. I mean, we shouldn't concede that many runs in the first place, but then we don't score those runs back. So it's so weird because we bowled so
No, yeah,
well
if
to
you
the
if you
top
look,
order as well.
I'm just staring at the scorecard, and Jamieson and Southey got 51 runs combined. And if you want to add Bolt, 7 runs, and these are just quick fire, it's not even like 20 and like 100 or something, or 20 and 50, 20, 21 and 16, 30 and 46, and Bolt 7 of 8.
Yeah,
Even though 7 runs are important for number 11.
yeah. That's the thing though. That I was talking to someone the other day. This is the difference between our tail and other teams' tail, like tail enders, in my opinion. Is our tail is like geared for survival because generally, I guess you would have a batsman at the other end. Your job is to stay in while the other guy gets runs. What the other side is when other teams tailenders bat, they're looking for quick runs. They know they're going to get out in like 10 balls. Might as well get runs in those 10 balls. If you swing blindly, like Trent Bolt, for example, he wasn't playing proper shots most of the time. Even against England, I think, in the test series before this World Test Championship final, he scored, I think, like 10, 15 runs in one innings, and he was just swinging the bat left, right, and center. If you're going to get out for 0 of 2, even, it's better that you go down trying to make runs than go down just trying to block for nothing. But there's no one at the other end either. So, yeah.
No, yeah, one thing I want to point out, just like, because I was very confused, in India's second innings when we were batting, we were like, what, 150 for 7, something like that. And I don't know why, but Shami decided to go for the ball, like, hitting the ball. Like, I mean, logically, we had like, what, 60 overs left of the day. I would rather have the bowlers defend or do something else rather than try to hit. And
Well, I
even
think
because even those 10 runs, those can be scored in 2 overs, which isn't a lot compared to 60 or 50.
well, I
So
mean,
I think
there's
if,
two things to that. Oh no, sorry, you can finish. Yeah.
no, yeah, if they lasted at least another, like, what, 5, 10 overs, that would at least decrease the amount of balls New Zealand had. And yeah,
Well, yeah, I mean that's one side of it. However, in my opinion, is when you're 7 down for 150, you're not going to last the 60 overs. You're not going to last anywhere near 20 to 30 overs when you have 3 wickets left, especially with the tail India has. Now there's the philosophy of you might as well get more runs. Our lead, how much did New Zealand have to chase? Like what, 150 or something?
I think they got one, no, 140.
140. Okay, so the thing is with that 140 total, if you're 7 down with a 120 lead, my main goal would be let's pump this up to 150 plus. Then at least we have a total to bowl at. Because if we're gonna block it out and last those same 10 overs, but then still have your lead of 120, you're sure you'll have less overs, I guess. But it's only 10 less overs and you haven't added many runs. So I can see the complete philosophy with going for quick runs at that point of time. Especially like if there's no batsman at the other end, then sure. I don't remember how long Rishabh Pant lasted, but that man was on some other shit that day because he was trying his best to get out. I guess
Yeah, he was doing
maybe the pressure got
something,
to him
man.
because I
That
mean,
yeah,
to be fair, like you see your entire top order collapse and your
he
entire
he did
team
well in the
collapsing.
start. He was playing like at a strike rate of 50, and he was doing his thing, and then suddenly after, I think it was a tea or something or lunch, he started to come and smash. I mean, yes, he wanted runs, but like those are not ways to get runs.
But
Running down the pitch, taking 5 steps out, and then edging the ball.
the thing is with that, it's more of intent, I guess, because this goes the same thing of what I said with Shami, and I guess Pant would be more willing to do it since he's more capable. With Pant, he's more capable of scoring quick runs, and when you see your entire top order collapse around you and everything, you're going to lose wickets anyway. So his idea, I guess, would be I'm going to go around scoring some runs because I'm not going to go natural game, I guess. Like he's not going to last long anyway. But my point was that even from the beginning of his innings, he was trying to go for runs. Like I remember when he came in and he played a couple of shots for boundaries, but those were slightly risky shots. And like it became more risky because he straight up started slogging at one point, as you said.
Yeah.
So I guess that's just pure pressure getting to the guy. Honestly, I don't blame that, but at the same time, like, damn, I was so scared for him seeing that. He got to 40, to be fair. Like, I mean,
I mean, yeah, those are valuable
it's
runs.
a good
Very
innings. It's just the
valuable.
thing is, if other people performed as well, like, I'm satisfied with the way Pant batted. It's just that if, like, I mean, obviously, there's an
I
argument
think
of he
he
could have done better, obviously. But then the thing
the
is,
way he came out already, I think his second ball was a four or something when he came, and I think that mindset was already changed in second innings compared to first, because in the first he was like a zero of like what, almost 15 or 17 or something like that,
hmm,
and clearly it didn't work out for him because that under pressure to get that one run to get you off just it just makes you want to hit the ball, but which again leads you to get out. Like he hit 1-4, and then after that he tried going for that same shot again, but it edged and went to what, first slip or second slip, and
hmm,
yeah. But then second innings he changed his, uh, he went his way, and he got
yeah.
runs.
It's more that is the more counter-attacking innings, what at least what he's built to do. But the thing is, India, I guess I remember when he came out to bat, we were like 90 for 5 or something. And when you're 90 for 5 with a lead of about 60, you're basically staring down the barrel. I know you have Jadeja with you and everything, but it's a long last day left, and there's two ways to go about it. You can survive, you can play out and grind out the rest of the 80 overs, or you can look for quick runs so that even if you bowl, you have something to bowl at. And that's what he chose, I guess. To be fair, if he and Jadeja stick for longer, we could have easily like gotten a lead of 200 plus, had something to bowl at.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jadeja fell as well, and then from there we had barely anything to go to. Like I said, the bowlers were there. I don't know, was Pant the last guy out, or was he like not? I don't remember that.
For what?
Was Pant the last man out in the innings, or
No, no. I mean, he was. I mean, in second innings.
yeah, second innings, yes.
No, yeah, no. He got out. Then it was Ashwin, Shami, and Bumrah. They
Oh,
got out.
Ashwin was still there, right? Well, I mean, yeah, but still, it's little batting to look forward to. So the moment Pant got
Yeah.
out, really was nah.
I mean, it was the conditions. You can't blame anyone. I mean, you can blame them. But the conditions were hard to bat on, and New Zealand did do better than us.
Yeah, the thing is with New
In
Zealand's last chase, I mean, there's two ways to look at it. Obviously, still not an easy pitch to bat on by any means, but when you have that objective, like, okay, I'm chasing 140, I'm chasing that only that, I might as well get it quickly, and that's new. Kane hit a 50, and he did that in like quick time as well compared to everything else in
yeah,
that innings. Like first innings, he scored what 49 of 177. Second innings, 52 of 86. It's all about the mindset, I guess. And something Kohli said after
yeah,
the game as well is that something they need to take going into their tour of England, which starts I think next month or next to next month, is the fact that you want to be more attacking in difficult conditions because otherwise, like India were, you're just going to be standing there waiting to get out. That's what's basically
yeah,
happening. You can now that might be in part directed at Pujara as well, uh, because when you score 8 of 54, it can look like okay, you survived 54 balls or you got 8 runs. That the it just Yeah. So the thing is, you should be more positive when you have the chance, because, like you
Yeah.
said, you're gonna get out one way or the other in such difficult conditions. Might as well go down getting some runs. You could the worst that can happen is your entire team collapses and you get a 36 all out scenario. That's the worst that can happen. But
Let's
it's
not talk about that. But yeah.
but that's the worst that can happen if you keep going in a positive mindset. But you don't even have to be like punt style, going after every ball, like slogging after every ball. It's just simply showing a more positive intent than scoring at a strike rate of 20 or 10. Again, might be directed at Pujara, but
No, I mean, even if you like do a proper front foot defense, not only does the bowler think of changing the line length or whatever, even the batsman feels confident, like, okay, yes, I can take on the ball. Maybe next time I'll try, I don't know, hitting. But then, yeah,
the thing is with,
confidence.
with the defense, and like you said, it makes your bowler change line and length or whatever, is that opens up areas for scoring in general. So the defense usually precedes the attack, and you eventually do attack. But the thing is with, like, I don't know why I'm singling out Pujara so much. I'll get to him later because there's some stats that people don't seem to realize about Pujara as well. But when you keep blocking and blocking and blocking, the bowler gets more comfortable because he knows he can try new things. Like, he can bowl a ball that's short and wide, and he knows that he's not going to get hit. He knows that you're not going to attack it. You're just going to leave it alone. So he can try whatever the hell he wants on you, and you're not going to do shit to him. And that's the thing with when people bowl to Pujara. It'll look good, yeah. He scores what 10 of 90 balls. He batted 90 balls. The grit. This is what you want. But then he allowed the bowler to get more comfortable and settle in, because if you, like I said before, if you play out 6 dots and the other guy doesn't get off strike, one bowler is continuously bowling at that one batsman. That bowler is getting settled and settled and settled, while the other batsman on the non-striker's end hasn't faced this bowler. So the moment that other batsman gets on strike, he's not
Yeah.
experienced against that bowler, more vulnerable for him to get out. So it works
Yeah, and this
that
actually
way.
happened. This has happened a lot. Test even in like other formats. If you, I don't think T20 really, because you it's just hit and slog. But I mean, in ODI and Test, you Kohli has done this. He stays off strike in the Cricket World Cup 2019. He stayed off strike with Rohit or something, I think, and for like an over and a half. And then when it came to that bowler, he got him out like the first ball
Hmm.
he faced in like 10 balls. So yeah, I mean that that is something Pujara did.
Well, I guess while we're on the topic of Pujara, I can also mention this. I understand, like, he's a thorough test player, and he still has a batting average of like 46, and he's still one of our best players. Now, the thing is, what people have to realize about him, especially, like, I'm just speaking based on the conversations that people have had after the final, and there has been many irrational ones as well. But the thing is, like, I know, like, people say, okay, Kohli hasn't scored 100 since 2019. He's in a bad run of form. Yes. Now, what people don't bring up is Cheteshwar Pujara hasn't had a century since 2018. And that was in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. It might be 2019 January or something. But the point is, since then, the man averages 29 in Test cricket. He scored like 800 runs and an average of 29 with 0 hundreds. No one seems to talk about that, and it's also at a strike rate of like 30. So he's not scoring runs. Sure, in difficult situations, he will bat the balls, like that innings in Sydney, when we toured Australia. That's 70 of 200 balls. Yes, extremely valuable. You need a player who can do that. Same time, you want that player to be flexible enough such that they can do the other side as well, which is score runs. Kane Williamson, perfect example of it. First, just contrast between the innings. First innings, 49 of 177. I remember at one point he was 15 off 100 balls.
Yeah.
Because it was so difficult conditions, he had to stay in there so that if he knew that if he fell, the backbone is broken and they can slice through the entire lineup. So he had to stay in there. Towards the end, also, he started hitting boundaries. Now, the thing is, contrast that with the second innings. He comes in, they're one down early, 30 for 1. I know chasing only 140. But the thing is, he knew then it's counterattack. Indian attack are down on confidence. If you're going to block and block, you're going to give them more confidence. So go for the runs, go for the attack, and that's what he did. 50 off 80 balls. So you have a player number 3 who can do both, and that's what you want as a number 3 player. People compare Pujara to Dravid. Perfect, I guess, because both are rigid and can bat long periods of time. The main difference is Dravid knew when to attack, and Dravid could, I guess, in my opinion, attack in a more effective way than Pujara can, because he didn't always have a strike rate of like 30. The man hit proper hundreds and like strike rates like in the realms of like Kohli or Rohit as well. So that proves that you can see that by the fact that he's a legendary ODI player as well, Dravid. So that
Uh,
proves that he's flexible with it.
yeah, Dhoni should listen to this and add him to CSK starting 11.
I'm telling you what, if Pujara, Pujara has a T20 century. People always say
Oh
that
God.
Pujara has a T20 century. At 100. I remember that 100 of 64 balls in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. Much different, though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, very different.
like the thing is, the man could show some more attack, I guess. Like even
Yeah.
fucking 30 off 100, better than 14 off 100. I'll take it, honestly. It just shows that you're rotating the strike, scoring more runs. And Kohli is like the complete opposite kind of player, because even when he goes through times like that 40 off 130 balls where he's leaving every ball, he's still looking to score. You can still see him looking for the singles or the doubles whenever he can. But the thing is with Pujara, have you seen the leave which he does against like spinners, where he comes down the track and like pads up to it, where he
Yeah.
puts a pad in front of it? So
Yeah.
the point is, okay, well, I guess that's smart in the sense that you can't get LBW to it, but it's not in the sense that you're now looking for runs. You're batting every time like it's the fifth day of a test match. You're just trying to survive. And yeah, it'd be nice if he could score some runs. That's all I'm saying.
No,
But
I mean I just saw this. The first innings was 8 and 54, and he got two fours.
yeah,
That,
he was on 0 off like I think 36 or something, if I'm not wrong. No, maybe 4 off 36 or something with that one
no, yeah,
ball.
that means 52 balls were just dots.
Exactly. You look at the number of double. How much did he score in the second innings? By the way, I didn't pay attention to that.
Like 15 and 80.
15 and 80. Well, see, I mean, I guess 15 and 80 is turbo compared to 8 and 54. But the point is, either way, batting slow and grinding it out looks good if you have a good result. You can be 15 of 100 like Kane Williamson and come out of it 49 of 177 and look good about it because you scored 49. But the flip side is, when you bat 100 balls for 10 and you get out for 10, it does not look good. And the thing is, poor old
Yeah.
Pujara hasn't had many 50s of late. So it's just been scores like this, where you have 8 off 50 or 15 off 100. That's all you get to see. That's why he averages 29 at a strike rate of, I'm pretty sure it's 30, but it might even be less than 30.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the realm where it's come to. I guess the thing is, we probably don't have another player who can do the same. Maybe we do in Ranji if we look hard enough. But I'm not saying it's time to replace Pujara. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying he could
No,
improve
no,
in
no.
the
He's
sense
still
of,
he's still an amazing number 3.
yeah, that I'd say it would be better if he could adapt to situations where
Yeah.
he could score runs. And like, I mean, we could see that from him pretty soon, because like Kohli said, that they're looking to be more positive in tough conditions going
You know,
forward.
I mean, I don't know if this is true or not, but Kohli said he's changing the team apparently.
Did he? Like, where did that come from? Like the team, or
I don't know. I saw some Instagram post.
what were they? Yeah, but I mean, that could be anything. What like the you seen those Instagram
No,
posts?
I was actually intrigued because, like, I mean,
What changes could
I
they make?
can't see. Yeah, exactly.
The only change, well, no,
Because I feel like our first, I think maybe Gil, because he
the only change I
is
could see is
new.
Agarwal for Gill. That was what I was gonna say as well. That's probably the only thing I could like.
Yeah,
pause.
exactly. Because everyone else has
The thing is, it's our
rep.
strongest team. Like if you look at it
Yeah,
on paper,
exactly.
it's the first
You'd
time
be like,
that
all
this
of
team
these
has
are
played.
fantastic players, you know, like.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
first time that all these players had played together. You look at the bowling attack:
Yeah.
Jadeja, Ashwin, Ishant, Shami, Bumrah. 5 of our best bowlers hadn't played together before this at all, playing together for the first time. But it was literally fully our strongest playing 11. I know people can say, oh, Bumrah did badly, we should have played Siraj. Like, bro, come on.
No, no.
Bumrah has been our best pacer in this Test Championship going into the final. So there's no reason for that.
He could have done better.
That's the thing about he should have done better, yeah. But it's the thing about the
Yeah, I
fans that
mean,
they'll turn on.
it was a pitch,
Yeah,
man. He couldn't swing it even a bit.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, one way of looking at his economy was really good. The first innings, what 0 for
Yeah,
57 in like 26 overs. Economy of 2, pretty good. Could get some wickets, so that'd be nice. Shami did well.
No, I mean he would have, but Pujara.
Yeah, but
Just drop.
the fans switch on players so much. Like even now, people are calling for even the most ridiculous of changes to the team and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
But that's more reactive. You will always see that in Indian cricket because fans are so spontaneous, and there's like a billion of us. You're gonna get like a million people at least who are cuckoo in the head and who want weird
yeah,
ass.
people even say like I know. I mean, I don't know people, but I've seen comments where people actually want to take Kohli out of the team because he hasn't scored. Essentially, like I mean, you have to be out of your whole like mind to even think of doing that. Like the
No,
but yeah.
the thing is, they're like the Bumrah thing as well. People will look at Bumrah and playing in this innings and say, "Bro, kick Bumrah. Let's bring back Siraj," because Siraj took 1 5 for in Australia when Bumrah was not there. Let's bring back Siraj. He was the savior of this Indian team, bro. We should have played Shardul Thakur, bro. He could bat and all. It's like hindsight is a wonderful thing. You can always look back at things and say, "Oh, we could have played this guy instead of this guy," but going
I mean,
into it,
yeah, after you lose, of course, you'll be thinking of all the changes. If we won, you would be like, yes, Bumrah is a perfect choice.
no,
So,
exactly. If we won it, they'd be saying, "Oh, it's our perfect team. This is the best team in the world,"
no,
and
yeah,
all
they would be
that.
saying nothing.
Like, I mean, we're
But
still a really good test team. We're not the best in the world, maybe, but we're still a really good test team. And the thing is, with the best in the world category and what makes of it, I'd say it's a little more than winning the WTC final. But that's debatable and controversial. We can get to that.
I mean,
we
yeah,
can we can
it's
talk for
the
ages about that because, like, one team has done better away from home than the other. One team has
yeah. No,
played
yeah,
more
one thing I
games
want
than the
to
other, and all that stuff.
Yeah, one thing I want to see ICC do is make the World Test Championship so every team plays the same amount of matches home and away because I think that really got messed up and even for player stats and all, it's kind of unfair to say like Joe Root is the second highest run scorer because he's played like 5 or 7 innings more than other people and yeah.
Well, the thing with that is what fucked it really was the ice was COVID pretty much because every team was supposed to play the same amount of series, 3 home series, 3 away series was how was supposed to go down. But the thing is with COVID, it messed it all up, and they chose to still keep the final in 2021, which is why they canceled a lot of series for a lot of teams. And so you have England playing like 21 games when you have Bangladesh playing, I think, 9 or something like that. Uh,
Still
so
lost all of them.
there's still that discrepancy. No, I think Bangladesh won a couple, if I'm not wrong. I think they won against what? Sri Lanka? No. That was not it. West Indies. Fuck, I
Oh,
don't know. I
maybe.
didn't follow Bangladesh Test cricket. I'm not gonna lie. But I guess, yeah. The thing is, that was the reason for the discrepancy. But moving forward, I mean, the next cycle of the World Test Championship is going to be, unless something bad happens again, it's bound to be 3 home series, 3 away series for every team. I mean, we could again. We'll get to what our schedule is, but I guess
Yeah.
we'll talk more about this match for now. So I guess we've spoken a lot on it, but we can move to, I guess, after India's first innings when we were bowling. Conway, how about him? Huh? That
Yeah,
innings
I
as an
mean,
opener.
he did well, and I mean, I was scared in the second innings for him because I thought he would be going aggressive, and I know he can, but apparently not. They were playing slow,
Well, yeah,
so
I guess they were playing it safe because, I mean, 140. You don't want to mess this up. You don't want to expose
yeah,
your middle order too early. At least bat the first few overs. But then the thing is with like looking back, right, that second innings where he scored 54, highest score of the game, it, it's it's commendable because he was an opener going into a bad batting conditions against a world class bowling attack. 54 of 153. None of our openers did that. Rohit got
Yeah.
starts and had the most horrific leave ever in the second innings. Like Jesus Christ, but but I mean, that's the difference, I guess. You convert starts. I mean, Latham didn't really, but
Yeah.
again, he played his part as well in making a solid opening partnership in that first innings for New Zealand. Of course, when
No,
they
yeah,
went
that's
to
why
two, yeah, go on.
I think both of the India and New Zealand first innings were similar because like the opening stand was uh what is it?
It was
They were
good.
good, like 50 plus runs, and then after that another wicket fell less than like 10 runs or something, and then yeah, the middle order got like runs, and then
It
I
had a similar
mean
progression
tail
where we
end was
collapsed
just
later, but then the difference is our tail, we collapsed from like 190 for five or something. I don't remember the exact number.
something like
To
that.
like 217 all out versus New Zealand going from 135 for five to 230. I still don't remember how many.
50,
Two, yeah, that many.
249.
249 all out. So there's the difference. Last five wickets for them, 100 runs. Last five wickets for us, 40, 30 runs. That's the difference here. You need your tail to back up, and we ours didn't. Yeah. But I mean, the run rate for this whole game was slow, and that's testament to the conditions. It was, if you think about how much of a challenge it was, truly like a final of a tournament kind of challenge because it was thoroughly challenging for batsmen and even bowlers to bowl to like world class batsmen. And
Yeah.
up to India's third innings, even when we went into the close of the what was it, day four? I don't even remember which day is which at this
Bro, the
point.
days are messed up, man.
Yeah, I don't remember the second last day. The second last day. Even when we
So
went
that day
in,
five.
ironically, yeah, day five. Even when we went in the stumps on day five, not the last day, by the way, at like 50 odd, 64 for two, actually. We were two wickets down, but I still felt, we could do it. Like, we could get even. I was fully assuming we'd go for the draw because, like,
Considering
I mean, we could go for the win technically. Like, we could get like a. I mean, hypothetically, people were thinking, let's get quick 200 runs in 50 overs like ODI and then bowl them out for 100. That was never going to happen. The conditions are too
it's not a
difficult for
batting
that.
pitch. It's not a batting pitch.
But at the same time, we still could have gotten that lead of 200 and at least secured either a draw or a possible win. Like, go for the. Like, you couldn't lose if you're bowling for 200 in 40 or 50 overs. You can most likely draw, but there's a chance to win as well. But we didn't. That's even not even a matter of discussion because we didn't even get to that point. We
Yeah, I mean, if you see this, our number three, four, and five batsmen, Pujara, Kohli, and Rahane, possibly the best ones, got less than 50 runs combined, which
Hmm.
is like
The thing, I mean, like for example, Rahane's dismissal, like pretty
so
disappointing.
soft and
Like
sad.
both innings, really, he had soft dismissals. And
The
the
second
one where
innings was even worse because what are you doing hitting that shot?
I mean,
Leave it.
maybe
But
like I mean, boundary opportunity, flick down the leg side, no fine leg, pretty easy boundary, but bounce did him in. But yeah, it was sad to see, really, and I mean, yeah,
and the first
we
one,
did collapse.
49.
That I was saying this earlier. This has so much resemblance to that second Test match in New
Yeah.
Zealand in 2020. I can tell you it's exactly the same. India bat first, score 200 odd, and their top order does well, and middle order collapses. Tail end, not middle order stabilizes, tail end collapses. New Zealand bat well for the first half, tail collapses, end up 200 all outish. India go in thinking they can make another 200 and set them 200, 220 to win. Get bowled out for like 100 odd. It's exactly the same thing. And I was thinking about it going into that last day, like, this could very well happen again. It's just exactly the same situation. And it did happen
Yeah.
again. It just, you see it happen again and again with India and foreign conditions where the ball is swinging. you see it happen day in day out with their batting collapsing. Like is our bowling competes with their own bowlers in their own conditions. So our bowling is pretty strong. It's just that our batting in those conditions cannot back that up. Even if we won in Australia. First of all, Australia is a much different place than England or New Zealand, with in testament to
Right.
swing and seam. But even then, yeah, fine. Australia has difficult conditions. It's not as if our batting did well in Australia. What people have to realize it is what won us that series, besides like Pant, I guess, or the one or two great batting performances here and there, was our bowling. Our bowling was good, and that's what did it for us. And our bowling saves our asses so many times in overseas tours, but our batting rarely does. And if that doesn't improve against England, there might indeed be some changes made, because we probably can't
Yeah.
be taking that for very long. I don't see them changing anything for the England series though. It's only like a month away. They're not going to make anything drastic in a month while the whole squad's there. Though I think the next thing we have after that is it our overseas tour of South Africa, or is it the home series against New Zealand when it comes to tests? I mean,
Not sure.
I think it's the home series against New Zealand because that's in November. At home, our team has like pretty much taken for
Oh,
granted
Ashwin will
everything.
literally like slap them left, right, and
Well,
center.
let's not underestimate them, because England came and ripped us apart in that first test. Sure, we won the series, but that's because we got dust bowls. Like
Oxford Patel.
I mean, it's fair, by the way. We can make our home pitches the way, if the ICC allows it, the way we want. They can make theirs the way they want. It's perfectly fair. But the thing is, if you want to be the best team in the world, you have to dominate home and away. Not even dominate, win away from home. Like we won that series in
Yeah.
Australia, and after that, I was thinking, yeah, okay, we are the best team in the world. We beat Australia in Australia. Not many teams, no one really could do that before, given except that one England team that did that 10 years ago. But no one else could do that consistently. We did it two times in a row. But now went to England, facing New Zealand. I still thought we were favorites. Many people thought we were favorites, despite New Zealand being the number one ranked team in the world. And they showed why they're the number one ranked team in the world. They're in extraordinary form, and it makes perfect sense, I guess. They deserve the win. Given what happened in the final and going into it, they definitely deserve the win. However,
Yeah.
if you were to like, okay, I don't know whether this comes across as salty or not. I don't intend for it to become across as salty. First of all, let me preface this by saying I'm proud of Kane Williamson, because the man has been searching for an ICC title for ages. 2015 heartbreak, 2019 heartbreak. Even people don't talk about this enough. The 2016 World T20 semifinals as well. They crashed out of that
Oh
as
yeah.
well. And wait, in the Champions Trophy, did they miss out on the? I think they got knocked out in the knockout stages itself by Bangladesh. I think in the in the Champions Trophy in 2017, because I remember Bangladesh beat New Zealand in that tournament.
Yeah.
So you have like 3-4 tournaments in a row of heartbreak. It's exactly the same situation as Kohli, but at least
Yeah,
Kohli won
exactly.
a title before in 2011.
Both teams deserved it, so
Yeah, that's
yeah.
that's the thing. Given that, I'm proud of Kane Williamson's team because they deserve that title. Now, but on the other hand, if you were to ask me which team was the better team throughout that World Test Championship, I would still say India. But that is probably just me, and obviously that does not mean they're the deserved winners of the title, because the deserved winners
Clearly
win the
not. I
final.
think
The deserved winners win
exactly.
the final. That's how it goes. But yeah, that's the same thing. Who was the who? I guess we can do a little bit of a recap on the World Test Championship as a whole. But like, who was leading run score? I know the leading wicket taker was Ashwin by the end of the tournament, because
Oh yeah, he did get the most wickets,
yeah,
71. Most runs
Ashwin,
was Labuschagne.
Labuschagne. Yeah, when it comes to Labuschagne, if you look back at Labuschagne's like past 2 years, insane. Already pretty much one of the best Test batsmen in the world, and he only
Yeah, I
came in
mean man
second
average
2 years
is
ago.
72. What more
He only
man's
came
like
into
Ponting
second
here,
2 years
man.
ago. Like I remember when he first came into the team. This was against against Pakistan in the UAE 2018, right after the whole sandpaper saga when they had to bring in new players and they wanted a replacement for Smith. Well, you got to replace him for Smith. And the thing is, with him, I remember laughing at his name, like, oh, that's a funny last name.
Labouche.
He also didn't like bat like Smith when he made his debut, because I remember he batted like number 6 or something, and he batted completely normally. He had this season when he played the county championship with Glamorgan, for the English county thing. He got like 1,000 runs in that season, and after that, he was a completely changed player. Obviously, very eccentric. You fucking the no run fucking thing that he does. But yeah, he's been an insane player since then, whatever conditions may be. Again, only challenged the subcontinent, but they tour India as well later the next year. So
No, that actually leads to an interesting question. Who do you think is the man of the?
man of the tournament. Uh, well, now the thing is, wait. First of all, do the ICC like actually have that title? Do they give
No,
it
they
out?
don't have that.
Okay. Well,
That's why I'm asking.
the thing is, if
I had this conversation with my friends, and I mean, debatable.
now, why don't you tell me what you think? Because I haven't really thought of this question that much.
I think Labuschagne, not only because he's top run scorer, but he has a lot of other things to prove himself. He's also played in tough situations. And wait, is that no, never mind. And I mean, he has most 50s or something, and a lot of bunch of other stuff. And he's also good. Yeah, and
Well,
people.
yeah. The thing is, what I was looking at is when you think of like a player at the tournament, do you think of like statistically who did the best, or do you think like who contributed to their team the most, who gave their team the best chance of winning? In which case, I would probably like I would before the final, I would have probably even like gone as far as to say like Pat Cummins or something, because he's dug Australia out of like perilous situations too many times for this. Uh, not only the World Test Championship, for the last few years as well. Obviously, after that, there's Steve Smith, who had a pretty good, a really good World Test Championship going before that India Australia series, and even there, his mediocre was still an average of about 50. So there was him as a conductor as well. But yeah, I would probably say Labuschagne, not only the sheer weight of runs, like you said, like 1,600 runs. I think the next best,
Yeah.
Joe Root, is like 1,000, if I'm not wrong, but it's like far behind him, basically.
No.
Oh, is he? Oh, how close are they?
No. 15 runs.
Oh, he's 15, but how many matches did he play?
Yeah, that's what Labuschagne has played 23 innings. Root has almost doubled that, 37.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's what the innings
But Smith, on the other hand, has done almost as good as Labuschagne, but he's 300 runs behind.
Yeah, so
Like
I would probably agree with you when it comes to Labuschagne, but the thing is with Labuschagne is he played only one series away from home, and that's the main takeaway that I would take from his man of the tournament title that would be there. So if I was to say like, okay, think of statistics and think of people who performed at home and away, I would rather give it to Ashwin than Labuschagne. I'm not saying he would get the title, but he would be more of a contender because he performed better. At home, obviously he's a beast, but he performed well away from home as well. Like during the tour of Australia, even the World Test Championship final, like he picked up a couple wickets in each innings.
I mean, he got the big breakthrough.
Yeah, he got. I think he got the first 2 wickets or the first wicket in the second innings, and even the first.
Yeah, the
innings,
first 2 wickets.
Yeah,
He almost goes to Williamson now, but then Williamson then he stayed in.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That would have been such a big change.
Ashwin is first of all about Ashwin. He's a completely different bowler than what people thought he was 4 years ago or something. 4 years ago, people would have thought, oh, he's only good because he plays at home in dust bowls of India, and obviously you spinner does well there, and that was fair because he didn't do well away from home at that point of time. Now you can see by his tour of Australia and since then as well that he's a much more different bowler where he can perform well at home and away. Obviously, he'll need to test out that new adapted process a lot more in like the coming tour of England and etc. But I think when it comes to when you weigh up how people did at home and away from home, I'd probably rather give it to Ashwin. Sheer weight of wickets as well, obviously. But if you're looking at statistically, without looking at home away bias, Labuschagne is a good contender for that as well, I would say. Okay, so before we end the podcast, at least this episode, we're gonna talk about like what's up next for each team. Now that this cycle is over, it's not like any other ICC tournament. The next cycle starts right away. So what's next for India is straight away the Tour of England, as we mentioned. They have 5 tests against England starting, I think, in a month or two. So the squad will be staying in England, I believe, during that time. But before that, we have the Tour of Sri Lanka that will start as well. Uh, Sri Lanka right now, by the way, are touring England. They've lost the T20 series there. Uh, they're down 0-2 so far, but that's fine. The point is, India will tour Sri Lanka with that separate team, while the main test squad stays in England. Maybe after that, certain players from the Sri Lanka squad will be flown out to England for that series as well. But that's what's next for India. And what's next for New Zealand, as you mentioned as well, a tour of India in November after the World T20. But the thing is, the main event that's coming next, that's the World T20. That's what the people have to work towards now. You're going to see a lot more T20 series and yeah, like
Yeah.
even the IPL that's coming up in September. There's every chance that England and Australian players will not play in that because they have their own series at that time, and it's leading up to the World T20. So I think they'd probably want to spend more time with the international team during that period. But sources have confirmed that New Zealand players will play it though. So for all RCB fans who hate Kyle Jameson, there you go. Uh, you're still gonna see him partnering Virat Kohli. And the thing you take away from this is they're all players. There's no hard feelings between them.
Yeah.
It's not as if Kohli's gonna chuck him out of the team because he got him out twice. If anything, that proves that he's a much
Yeah, I'm
better
just looking at this, and
player.
Australia aren't playing a test till after February 2022.
Aren't they playing? No,
Because
they're definitely playing the Ashes this year.
yeah, I know Ashes, yes, but then that's isn't that part? Is that the World Test Championship?
Um, yeah, I'm going. Yeah, England Australia is part of it, and that's 20.
No,
That's
yeah, okay,
November,
then
December this year. That's what the whole thing of what
then-
England's leading up to. Apparently, all their preparation for 2 years is for the Ashes. That's the long-standing rivalry that they have.
it's gonna be interesting.
I mean, it is. The thing is with Australia is they need to work around what their middle order batting was. Like you have, I remember there was Travis Head, Matthew Wade, Cameron Green. You're probably going to see a couple of new faces in there. But their team looks, I guess, pretty solid in the end of the day. Sure, they lost against India, but it's still a good team. And it's not as if that was a terrible team that you need to change. With England, yeah, you probably see a couple of new faces as well, but you'll probably see the same top order like Burns, Sibley, Crawley, Root, and you'll probably see that same thing. But that's going to be interesting
Yeah.
because it's two teams that are obviously the rivalry is long standing, and each team has their own flaws to iron out. It's not as if either team is perfect. So I'd say it's going to be a lot more competitive than the last Ashes, where England were like
Yeah, I mean, last time
years ago.
Archer was a standout for England.
No, yeah, in the
So,
England in the Ashes in England, yeah. But the thing is, with the Ashes in Australia last time, England didn't have a proper fast bowler. They didn't play Mark Wood either when he was there. So, but now they have Archer, they have Wood for that pace. Obviously, you have Broad and Anderson. So they have a much stronger pace attack, a much more well-rounded attack. Only flaw, they do not have a spinner. Like Jack Leach,
yeah.
sure, but given the little assistance to spin in Australia, Ashwin had to work so hard to even get some assistance off that place. Nathan Lyon somehow gets assistance off the place. That's mainly due to the help of his fast bowlers, but like that's the difference. And if anything, that gives Australia the advantage. The obviously home
Yeah.
conditions, but the fact that England don't have I would say, a competent enough spinner for Australian conditions. And that's on them. They don't train spinners properly. They don't cultivate spinners. They like their pace bowlers. But
Yeah.
yeah, that Australia, it's the same for Australia. They don't apparently they just don't like playing spinners, other than Nathan Lyon. So
Yeah, they don't really have anyone else. The Ashton Agar they have,
they have
but he
they,
doesn't.
they have Mitchell Swepson, who's always the backup spinner, the leggy. He's always the
There are a lot
backup
of
spinner.
spinners don't play tests for Australia. Like,
I mean,
I
dude,
mean,
Nathan Lyon has been the sole spinner for like all
Yeah,
100 or nearly all
and then
100 games.
commentates wouldn't start. That's like their only
But then
or best war.
the question
And
comes
it's been
when,
successful, so like
yeah,
can't really complain.
the question
So
comes when, like, Australia, their overseas tours I'm seeing here, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, India, three subcontinent tours in the next cycle.
yeah. No, Pakistan hasn't.
You need more than a spinner. You need more than Nathan Lyon. And Nathan Lyon himself is like, I think, 33 or something. After this cycle, who are you going to turn to? You need another spinner, and that either they'll find a miracle and find a prodigy, or they're going to get a rude wake up call, and they'll figure out that they don't have a spinner. But I guess for the Ashes, they don't have to worry about that. But like I said, it's going to be very competitive and exciting. It might be Anderson and Broad's last series as well. Not Broad so much. Broad is still like 33 or something, but Anderson is like 39. So
Yeah.
you're probably, I'm guessing it'll probably be his last series.
I mean, yeah, BJ Watling,
Oh,
he
like
retired.
yeah. Well, yeah. Watling retired. He's pretty much a legend of New Zealand cricket as well. I remember him digging them out of crazily difficult situations, and he's one of those grinding type players as well who can stick it out for long periods of time. So
No, yeah, I just want to quickly talk about Pakistan and what they have. They have I mean, they have Australia, New Zealand, and England at home,
hmm.
which is, I mean,
The thing is about
for,
those series, you have to think of whether they be played in Pakistan or the UAE, because I mean the UAE, while considered home for Pakistan, it's not really home because it's not doesn't share similar conditions. I mean the only similar conditions is okay, spin, you get spin there, but it's so much different because the pitches in Pakistan will give you the same pitch, similar conditions like a pitch in subcontinent would, where it's not dry all the
but they
time.
have done well there. So
They have done well, but they've done even better in Pakistan. So the question is, will these teams tour Pakistan? I know England will. England have already agreed that they will. Australia is so unwilling to tour anywhere.
I know they're so indecisive, you know.
they've been avoiding Bangladesh for years. They were supposed to tour Bangladesh last year. Okay, fine. Given COVID, I'll agree with that. They are touring Bangladesh this year, by the way, for a T20 series. They were supposed to play a Test series for their World Test Championship there. They did not. They refused to do it. And at one point, it wasn't even COVID because I'm talking before the World Test Championship here. It was security issues and stuff like that. They quoted that they didn't want to go to Bangladesh for. It's very very weird, and they've also avoided like hosting teams like Zimbabwe or something at home, which I mean, yeah, I guess when's the last time India hosted Zimbabwe? Fair point. But then the thing is, they only play England or India at home for a long time, and even South Africa. The last time South Africa played a Test series, that 2016, and South Africa won it as well in 2016. They haven't toured there since. I can't remember any team that has toured there. New Zealand and Sri Lanka only last year, but even before that, what teams were playing? It was just England and India, because apparently that's all they see as competition or whatever. And they haven't played away from home since 2017. That's 4 years ago. They haven't played it. Four. Well, I mean, running 5 years since they've played a proper overseas Test series. And that baffles me that they can get away with that. To be honest. Okay, well, I guess when I mean overseas, I mean like different conditions, not going to England or New Zealand where it's similar. But anyway,
Yeah.
I guess they've gotten away free with that before, but they won't this cycle. Pakistan, Sri Lanka, India. Fun fact, by the way, the last series against all those teams, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, India, they've lost. 2017 lost to India, 2018 lost to Pakistan, and 2016 lost to Sri Lanka. They got whitewashed by Sri Lanka in 2016. Since then, they haven't gone back. It's always funny to me to think of that because it makes me feel like they just run away from there.
Just scared, you
They
know.
also drew a series against Bangladesh. They didn't win a series against Bangladesh
Yeah.
when they played it there. It's like they
It was
kept
too much. I mean,
yeah.
draw and a win.
Uh,
Or
no. It was no. The series was drawn. So Bangladesh won one and Australia won one.
okay, yeah.
So they're terrible in subcontinent conditions. I guess their cure for that is to just not play there. But they'll have to face
Yep.
whatever they get now. So I guess
Well,
that's
the
what's gonna happen. I guess, and we'll see how that goes. They tour all three subcontinent teams. We'll have to see how that goes.
yeah.
But I'm telling you, if they don't get a proper spinner, they're not going to do very well. At least there's very little chance that they're going to do well if they don't have a second spinner. Yeah. Well, that's about it.
Well,
That's pretty much all we have to say. This is a very impromptu episode of the podcast. Like I said before, we have a name now. Pretty proud of it. The Full Toss Podcast. It's definitely taken. Someone out there has definitely taken it. But
I don't care.
I just don't care. This is our podcast.
Sue us,
Now.
sue us, man.
Yeah.
We'll enjoy it.
Let
Well,
us just fool around with this. Come on,
yeah.
man. Anyway, thank you for watching. I haven't said this bit before because I haven't given a proper outro to the podcast ever. But I've linked mine and Abhi's socials in the description. So if you, if you wanna
Yeah.
check them out. Then from now on, hopefully new podcast weekly because there's so much stuff in cricket happening right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll bring guests on. So if you want to be on the podcast, just comment or contact us through our socials. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I'm still disappointed. I will go cry now. See you.